So, good morning, Wake Forest Baptist family. I want to share some statistics that I think reveal some good news. Totally unrelated, but just let me give some good news this morning. Because I think so much of what we read in social media is so poisonous about so many bad things that are going on in our society, and people are evil and nothing's good anymore. Yeah, I subscribe to Axios. It's a newsletter that comes out every morning, and they always have one big thing. And I love something that they wrote just lately. I want to share it with you to kind of a course correction. It may be some of the negative thinking that, if we're not careful, can so much infiltrate our very souls. So they had the big thing that said, the headline was, "You're not nuts." It said, think about it. Most people you meet in everyday life, at work, in the neighborhood, are decent. Normal. It's not the message we seem to be getting sometimes, isn't it? And then it gave some actual statistics to back this up. It said 75% of the people in the United States never tweet, which is probably a good thing. I don't even know how to tweet, what that means. On an average weeknight in January, just 1% of U.S. citizens watch primetime Fox News or MSNBC. The two extremes, if you will. Nearly 3 times more Americans, 56%, donated to charities during the pandemic than typically give money to politicians and parties. It says the bottom line, every current trend suggests politics will get more toxic before it normalizes, but the silent majority give us hope beyond the nuttiness. So that's an encouraging word. And don't you find that to be the case? If you really think about it, people are good. Look at our church. I look out my window and see people working in the garden. I look across the street. There's a women's Bible study going on today. There's quilting ministry. There's card ministry. There's divorce care. There's grief care. There are people who are just out building ramps. Everywhere I turn around this church, just good things that remind me of God. But I go home and I turn on the news, and the shouting and the negativity. It's just, if I'm not careful, I can let that become the news of the day. So what are you giving yourself to? What are you feeding yourself with? And the Bible says what goes in you what comes out of you. Now, having said all that, I want to give another statistic that I just came across. And I'm going to get in trouble over this. I get in trouble every time with parents because somehow you think my message is I'm totally against soccer. Well, I'm not crazy about soccer on Sunday mornings. But soccer is a great thing. Football, dance, cheerleading, all the different things that everybody does around here. They're all good things. They're great things. But I've been here 17 years. So I got some history to back up what I'm about to say. For what I can remember, what I know, two of our youth have gone on to play professional ball. 2 out of the hundreds of youth that have been in this church and going through youth group. I can count on one hand, maybe about 4 or 5, who actually did these activities that they gave so much time to, actually went on and did it in college. There have been a few, 4 or 5. But I can tell you 100% of our youth will go out and live life. 100%. And will they have the foundation? And this is what we're about as a church. Soccer, baseball, dance, cheerleading, whatever you want to say. Great things. Don't stop doing them. But is it really, when you look at the averages, the statistics, how many of them really do anything with that beyond high school? But how many of them are going to live life and have a foundation for it? So I say all that because I came across the statistic. It said of the 100,000 high school seniors who play football every year, guess what percentage make it to the pros? 0.2% make it to the pros. But every one of them. And so it's interesting, the NFL Players Association states this statistic, and furthermore it says, this is not me talking, this is NFL Players Association, said therefore it is very important to come up with an alternative plan for the future. That's what I'm talking about. Do you have an alternative plan? Not only for those parents who are watching this who have youth and children, but do you have an alternative plan for yourself? We're filled with nice people, but just being nice is not a foundation that's going to get you through the crisis of life or allow you to celebrate the highest moments of joy and gratitude in life. So I want to give you a statistic. 100% of you are going to live life. Jesus said, how happy is the one who builds his house upon a rock instead of upon the sand? Because when the storms come, and they always do if you live long enough, you better have your house built on a foundation that will stand. So statistics, good news, reminders, take it with you, do with it what you want. Love you parents, love your soccer kids, always have, you know that. But I hope that you'll know that there's a foundation that they can count on, and that's Jesus Christ. Thanks be to God.